Hey, this is Laura Patricelli with Design Mastermind NYC, and today's training I'm going to be talking to you about exporting PDFs from Canva or Photoshop and creating active links and fillable form fields using Acrobat Pro, which can be downloaded separately from the Creative Cloud. If you just type in Acrobat Pro into your browser and click on the first link that shows up here, you'll see that there's two different versions that you can purchase. Adobe Acrobat has switched to a subscription pricing for all of their products. Adobe in general has switched to subscriptions for all their products. And for what we need to do today, you're only going to need the standard. You're not going to need the Pro, which does come with the Creative Cloud. So if you're already subscribed to the Creative Cloud, then you get this as part of the package. But if you just need to create fillable forms and documents and PDFs for your membership site resources or anything like that, you really just need the standard right here. These two items are what we're going to be doing today, which is editing text and images to create links and creating fillable fields. So we're going to do this in 4 steps, and I'm just going to review these real quick before we dive in. The first is to export the PDF. The second is to add links using Acrobat. The third is to prepare any fillable form fields or checkboxes that you want your subscribers or opt-in participants to be able to make edits to in Reader. And the final step is going to be to export that document both to a reduced format to save on space, and then also to a fillable format so that people can download the free Adobe Acrobat Reader and be able to fill in your document. So step 1, this is a PDF that I designed for my client Beverly Walthor, and I've already designed this 7-page document for her in Canva. So a couple considerations specifically for Canva. I'm not going to go into exporting in Photoshop today, although the same principles apply to anywhere that you might want to create a resource design like this. The first is that you want to have boxes like this already set up in your document so that you know where you want people to enter their text. You want to make it painfully obvious where people can enter in their responses. And you can do so just by creating these creating these boxes. They're just standard elements. So if you go to elements and shapes, you can find rounded corner shapes or just regular box, and that's all you need. The second consideration for exporting your PDF is to make sure that in your footer you have a website that people can find you. Regardless of whether it's a PDF resource that you're offering as a freebie, or if you're creating this document for a membership site, you always want to have some kind of link in the footer so that people can access your website. And even if they share your freebie with a friend, it's going to be easier for them to go in and just click on this link. The final consideration, the third consideration for exporting, is that any fonts you use, and you can select any of your font areas. This is Railway. If I click up here, this is League Gothic. You're going to want to download these fonts. Most of them are Google Web fonts. So if you just go to fonts.google.com, you can download them to your computer first. And I'm on a Mac, so I install using FontBook. As long as you download these fonts to your computer first, when you import this PDF into Adobe Acrobat, Acrobat will be able to recognize the fonts you use and automatically convert it. Otherwise, it's going to convert it as an image, which isn't as sharp. So you're always going to want to make sure that any fonts you use are available on your computer. So from Canva, when I'm ready to download this file, to export the file, I'm going to go up here and click Download, All Pages, and then click Download. Now, if you're in Photoshop, you can save as Photoshop PDF. If you are in InDesign, you can do the same. Any Adobe products make it very easy to export to a PDF. And what's nice is that if you're exporting from an Adobe product instead of Canva, then those links that you made will automatically be linked when you import it into Acrobat. So for step 2, we're going to go up here. I've already opened the file from my desktop, but you can go up here to File, Open Recent File, or just open up your newly exported PDF. Once you've opened up your PDF inside Acrobat, you're going to go over here to the right-hand toolbar. Now, this right-hand area, if you don't see it, then you can just click this little arrow over here, and that opens up the right-hand side. And the only options that you're going to need to worry about for editing or preparing your PDF is Edit PDF, Organize Pages, and Prepare Form. Edit PDF allows you to insert images, create links to websites, or even if you have a table of contents, you can create on-document links, which we'll talk about in a future video. Organize Pages, let me just click this to show you. Organize Pages allow you to insert PDFs from other files. So if you make a change to one of your Canva pages and you download only that one page, you can go ahead and just delete that old page and insert it again using this option here if you go to Insert from File. But we're not going to worry about this right now. I just wanted to show you that this is an option in case you need to add or remove entire pages from your document. Once you're in any of these little sub areas such as Edit PDF or Organize Pages, you can exit and go back to the main menu area just by clicking the X in the top right-hand corner. It's something to keep in mind. So right now we are just adding website links. So I'm going to show you how to do that. If you click here, Edit PDF, it's going to show you now everything that it has picked out as a separate image. You can click in and add or remove text as you need to, but for now we're just going to be adding a link. So if you go over here to Link and select Add, Edit, Web, or Document Link, then you notice that all the bounding boxes are gone and you're left with just your cursor. So if you click and drag over the website that you want to link to, it's automatically going to show, at least for me, it might show you something different, but you want these properties: link type invisible rectangle, highlight style none, and the link action is going to be to open a web page. So once you set these properties once, Acrobat will automatically remember that you need these properties again, so the next time you go to create a link, it's not going to give you some bounding box or something that you don't want. You just want an invisible rectangle that opens to a web page. So I'm going to click Next and enter the URL. This is my client's URL, beverlywalther.com, and click OK. Now once you're in this link edit zone, you can Command or Control C to copy that link, and then Command or Control V to paste it on a new page. Just click and drag and place it where it needs to go, and just continue to do this for all the pages that you need. Now, if you're creating a huge document, you're going to want to use a program like InDesign, which will automatically export these document links for you in the footer instead of having to go through and add these links, which can be painstaking if you have more than 10 pages. So this is all I'm trying to do right now. Let me zoom out just a little bit so that we can see more of the page, okay? So I just wanted to show you how to do that. I'm going to exit the Edit PDF zone and move on to task number 3, which is prepare your form and create fillable form fields so that your program participants or opt-in participants can use this workbook as an actual workbook and type in these fields. So for number 3, I'm going to go down here to prepare form and click start. Well, actually, don't click start just yet. You're going to want to see form field auto detection. Now, form field auto detection can be extremely useful if you have very clearly defined form fields. But if you have additional boxes or areas that might be misconstrued as form fields, you're going to want to turn this off. Right now I have it turned off so that I can add in these form fields manually. However, I do recommend that you go ahead and try it once with a document with form field auto detection turned on, just so that you can see how Acrobat notices form fields and automatically creates fillable fields for you. But this is a short document, and I would like more control over where the editable areas are in these boxes. So I'm going to keep this turned off and then click Start. Changes you may need to be saved, so go ahead and save. And what this is doing right now is it's creating an editable document. So as it stood right now, I have not saved this document yet, which means that this is still the exported PDF from Canva. And because now we're turning it into something that has been edited, I'm going to go ahead and name this Premium Package, and then in all caps, editable. Now, this is one of 3 types of files that we're going to be creating, but this is the most important one because this is the file that you're going to come back to if you need to make any sort of minor text link or form field edits in the future. The other 2 file types that we're going to be creating in Acrobat are reduced file types and fillable file types. And we'll be talking more about those in step number 4. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save. And it's going to bring me into the Prepare Form zone. Okay, so I'm going to go right up to the top. And this is way simpler than you might imagine. I'm going to select text box or add a text field. Now, if you have a checkbox, you can add checkboxes. If you have radio buttons, you can add radio buttons. But today we are specifically talking about creating fillable text fields. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add Text Field, click, and drag to fill the whole area that you want to be filled. Now, notice how the boundaries of my fillable area are a little bit inside of the boundaries that I've created. And that's actually one reason that I like to turn the automatic form field detection off, is because if Acrobat detected this as a field, it would create a bounding box that butts right up against the edges. And when your participants add content, you want the content to be a little bit away from the edges. You want to make it a little bit easier for them to read back at a later date. So once you've created this text box area, go down here to all properties. Okay, so you want your form field to be visible, and what that means is not that the boundaries are visible, but that the content that you enter into this field is visible. The other option that you might want is visible but doesn't print. That means that you can save the content and you can read it, but when you go to print it, it prints as an empty form. So that might be another option. The only thing that we're going to talk about here, this is all just a bunch of options. And if you wanted to change the appearance, have a fancy font or something, I don't recommend changing the appearance unless there's something here other than border color transparent and fill color transparent. Border color should obviously be transparent, which is this checkbox right down here. Fill color also transparent. That's really all you need to know. What we really are concerned with is options. Now, as you can see, the multi-line option here is turned off, but we want it turned on because this is clearly more than just one line of text. Now, there's another area of this document that just has a single line of text, in which case you would want to turn multi-line off. But for any sort of large text box area, make sure that multi-line is turned on. Everything else needs to be turned off. So check spelling is on, multi-line is on, scroll long text. Anything other than that needs to be turned off. One time I accidentally had a limit of 2 characters and it just made everything very strange. So as long as multi-line is turned on, then we can go ahead and close. And we're just going to do, now, quick comment, if you copy and paste this using Command C and Command or Control V, it's going to copy this text box and anything inside it. That means that if you copy and paste this down your document, anyone who enters content here is going to see that content duplicated in each of the subsequent text boxes. So in order to avoid that, you're just going to right click and you're going to say create multiple copies. And this is not available right now for some reason. But I'm going to show you down here how to do that. So let me just create one more text field. This time it is going to just be a single line of text. So when I create it and click all properties, I'm going to make sure the multi-line is turned off, which it is. Okay, so close. So I'm going to need 2 extra copies of this. So create multiple copies, and I'm going to copy selected fields down so that there's 3 total boxes, and click OK. And now these act as independent from each other, so people can enter separate content. Now make sure that if you copy this again and bring this down, make sure that you right click, select properties, and select multi-line for this one. And then you can go ahead and reset. Okay, I'm not going to go through the whole document. I'm going to show you now step 4, which is exporting your final document. So let me press X to get out of the prepare form zone. And actually now you can go ahead and test your boxes by clicking into here and making sure that everything looks kosher. Now notice I did not create any text boxes down here, so when I try and click, it's not going to do anything. So it's a great way to kind of go through your document before exporting it and make sure that this cursor shows up everywhere it needs to. So step 4, export to reduced and fillable formats. So I'm going to go ahead and save this as it stands using Command S. Save. Okay. Should just save directly on top, but since it's making me save it as, I'm just going to go ahead and save it on top of the document I was just working on, since I don't need two of the same document. Okay, so as it stands, this is an editable document at full size. So if I were to go ahead and save as other reader extended PDF, which is where we're eventually going to get to, you can go ahead and just save this as it is, and you can save it as a reader extended PDF, and your participants will be able to use all of the functionality of filling in and saving this document using Reader. However, in order to save some download space, I'm going to go ahead and add a step before this. I'm going to, before saving it to Acrobat, I'm going to go into and saving it as a reduced size PDF. And I usually make it compatible with Acrobat 9.0. There's a few options. This just gives you a little bit of wiggle room. Click OK. And instead of editable, I'm going to save this as reduced. And click OK. That's fine. Don't worry about the warnings. Okay. So now we have this reduced document. It's about half the size of the original in terms of weight. In fact, I can take a look right now and see what the difference is here. So the original is 1.1 megs, and the reduced is only 236K, which is actually about 1/4 the size of the original. So that just goes to show you how much of a difference that one step of creating a reduced size file can make. Now that we have our reduced file, we can go ahead and click File, Save as Other, Reader Extended PDF, enable more tools, including Form Fill-in and Save. And this is just a warning telling you that you're not going to be able to make edits to the original document, and you're not going to be able to organize pages the same way you would before, but that's okay because you have the editable version of this document, which you can just go back to at any time. So I'm going to click Save, and instead of reduced, I'm going to put fillable. And fillable is generally the last version that you're going to want to use to add into your email autoresponders, to upload to your website so that you can grant access using a password protected page. So that's it. The one thing to keep in mind, and I mentioned this a couple seconds ago, when you want to go in and make edits to this document again, don't go into the fillable version, don't go into the reduced version, go into the original editable version, the one that you saved after you created your form fields. That will allow you to create any text edits or make any edits to your fillable areas if you have to make any changes. So that's it. Please feel free to join my Facebook group if you have any questions and you would like some help in navigating the Acrobat Pro territory. That's at facebook.com/groups/DIY savvy. Hope to see you in there.